We do want to bring in trial attorney and legal analyst Misty Marris here. Misty, thanks so much for joining us on this case.
Thank you, Natasha.
So let's start with Carrie Roberts, who is a close friend of John O'Keefe, making a startling admission in court. Let's take a listen, and then I want to get your thoughts.
You painted a very, very detailed picture in front of the grand jury, didn't you?
Yeah.
Except it's not true, is it?
I did not hear her ask that. I was told she was asked that.
The answer to my question, Ms. Roberts, and I'm not a trick question, what you told the grand jurors was not true. You never heard her, my client, ask anyone to Google anything, did you?
I did not.
Roberts never faced cross-examination during Reed's first trial. How significant is this exchange for the jurors?
It certainly was, because it was impeaching her testimony and also just casting doubt on the prosecution's case in general by taking that grand jury testimony and confronting her with it. So this was a critical point because it related to a statement that she had made under oath during the grand jury proceeding, where she said that Karen Reed said, Google hypothermia. How long does it take to get hypothermia? Why does that matter? Well, that's a significant issue in the case, because the defense explanation is that O'Keefe was actually killed in the house and then brought outside, and he never experienced hypothermia. Whereas the prosecutor's case is that Karen Reed hit him and then he was outside for the evening and did. So that issue is very critical. So catching that in a lie, that in fact she did not hear Karen Reed say to Google hypothermia, that's another issue in the case. That certainly was significant and a win for the defense.
And we also see prosecutors playing a clip of Reed in an interview, and the defense strongly objecting to it on the grounds that it vilifies her. Let's watch that together, and I want to get your reaction.
And his mother leans over the kitchen island and says to me, I think it looks like he got hit by a car. It looks like he got hit by a car.
Okay, so jurors actually left the room while the court discussed this. Why is this clip so hotly debated? Do you think it vilifies Karen Reed?
Well, Natasha, really, all of these clips that are going to come into the courtroom, this is the most dangerous thing for a defendant, to be out there making all sorts of public statements that ultimately are going to come back in and be seen by the jury. So this particular clip, I understand why the defense objected to this one specifically, because how relevant is it? Is it really saying anything about what the salient issues in the case are, or is it just meant to be character evidence, which is something that is not allowed in the courtroom? Ultimately, if this clip is shown, the defense argues that it painted her in a bad light. Prosecutors say otherwise, that it's relevant. That being said, we are going to see and have already seen a lot of media clips in the courtroom, and that is something that can be damaging to Karen Reed, because there's a lot of inconsistent statements between those narratives that she said in the public display. So it's going to be a problem for the defense.
Understood. Let's take a look at some of the names on the witness list, because we see a lot of the same names from the first trial. We know disgraced and former Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor, who oversaw the investigation and was fired for sharing confidential information, will be on that stand. What is jumping out to you here?
Well, Michael Proctor and Jennifer McCabe, these are two really important people. Michael Proctor, that testimony during the trial one, it was cringeworthy, Natasha. The jurors were actually having facial expression reactions of like, oh my gosh, as he was testifying, because there were very crude and unprofessional text messages describing Karen Reed, which came out in the course of his testimony. And also, the argument from the defense is that you could see Michael Proctor had eyes for Karen Reed only, didn't really look into other potential leads or potential alternative stories that could have happened, only was looking at Karen Reed. That's why it was so damaging. And by the way, circumstances have changed at this point, because he was terminated for his handling of this case. So the defense is going to have a field day on cross-examination with him, basically saying the entire investigation was tainted and it's all part of that conspiracy to frame Karen Reed. Now, Jennifer McCabe, this goes back to that grand jury testimony that we just talked about. Jennifer McCabe Googled hypothermia. There's a question mark about when. The defense says it happened around 2 a.m., where this would be before before anybody knew John O'Keefe's body was out there. So that feeds into the conspiracy theory. Prosecutors say it was more like 9 in the morning. So that's going to be another central issue. Jennifer McCabe is very, very central to the case. These are witnesses that are really going to make or break the prosecutor's case, where the defense is going to have a lot of opportunity on cross.
We appreciate you tracking this for us. Misty Marris, thank you so much.
Thank you.